أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear viewers everywhere, peace be unto all of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome again to this series of episodes about reflections upon the Quran. Today we have one verse from the third chapter of the Quran, and it is verse number 26, Al-Imran 26. And let's see it together on the screen before we start explaining and reflecting upon it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قل اللهم مالك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير. If we try to translate the meaning of this, we got one translation here. It begins with say. That means Allah is commanding Muhammad, say, O Muhammad, O Allah, possessor of the kingdom, owner of the kingdom, you give the kingdom to whom you will, and you take the kingdom from whom you will, and you endue with honor whom you will, and you humiliate and abase whom you will. In your hand is the good, and you are capable of everything. You are able to do all things. Let's discuss it together and see how beautiful this verse is and how we can benefit from it. The maximum benefit, how to maximize our benefit from it. And this can be done, of course, by studying the verse, understanding it very well, then trying to apply it in our life. It talks about, it teaches Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to teach us that Allah is the possessor, is the owner of the kingdom. The kingdom, the whole kingdom, the whole universe, the whole heavens and the earth. And, of course, He can give it to whom He wants. He can give parts of it to whom He wants. He can do anything that He wants with His kingdom. It is His kingdom. And He can take the kingdom or parts of it or anything from anyone, because He is the giver, He is the owner. And He can honor some, and He can abase and humiliate others. He has all the power. And all the time in His hand, He has all the power and all the goodness in His hand. He can give it to whom He wills. And He is capable of doing everything. It's a beautiful meaning, simple meaning. The core concept of it, the core meaning here is Allah is the owner of the kingdom, the dominion. This whole universe, Allah is the owner of it. Let me explain that if you are the owner, you are the controller. If you own something, that you have the power to do whatever you want over it. For example, if I own a mouse, I own a computer, I own glasses, pair of glasses, I own this nice beautiful jacket, I own this watch, I own all these things. So I have the power to do whatever I want with it. I can give it to this person, or to this photographer, or to this cameraman, or to this friend, or to my son, or to my daughter, or to my wife. I can do whatever I want. I have this, I own this, I can color it, I can change its color, I can sell it, I can replace it. The same thing with my computer. I can put this software or the other software. I can do anything with it. I have full control on it. I own it. People should understand that Allah is the owner of everything in this universe. The heavens, the rivers, the mountains, the humans, the animals, the energy, the oxygen, everything in this universe. Allah owns it. And once He owns it, He has full control over it. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلْ الْأَعْلَى. Although I made this comparison to understand, for you to understand, but of course, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلْ الْأَعْلَى. Allah is the best example and the perfect example. We should not do that. We should not compare it, but just for you to understand it. But even the difference, even if I am the owner of something in this life, I don't have full control over it. For example, I own this computer, but if I own my house, but if I want to sell it, for example, I need to go to the municipality to get permission, or I need to go to the bank to make some arrangements, or I need to do this or that. So I don't really have full control of it, although I own it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He owns something, He has full control over it. And from this, you understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He loves you, He can grant you and He can give you anything from His kingdom. He can make you the rich of the richest people on this earth. And if He doesn't want to make you rich, He can make you poor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can make you happy and can make you unhappy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can cause anything to this, can honor you and raise you to the highest levels, and can humiliate you and abase you. You cannot avoid this. If you believe in this concept, you know that you are in His kingdom and He has full control over you. This beautiful verse is explained. You can see the explanation of it. Just let me tell you something about this kingdom of Almighty Allah. How to imagine it. As the Prophet ﷺ told us, this hadith Qudsi that begins with Ya ibadi, O my servants, O my worshippers, you will find the exact one of the lines in it. It says that لو أن أولكم وآخركم وجنكم وإنسكم وجنكم قاموا في صعيد واحد, until the end of the hadith. I'll put it in English, that if the first of you and the last of you as humans, and the humans and the jinn, all of them stand in one place, and each one of them would ask me to give him something or to give her something, you can imagine something so huge and beautiful. A palace, an island, a whole country, perhaps a whole continent. Someone would be very eager, he wants a space like the whole planet. With each one, with each of these requests, I fulfill all of them. This does not affect my kingdom. This does not decrease anything from my kingdom. It is as if somebody put the needle in the ocean and takes it back. All of us, we know that when you put a needle in water or in an ocean, it takes few drops. And even these drops may go, or most of them may go back to the kingdom, to the ocean. This is a description of how huge the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And this way, if the kingdom is like this, so how about Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's very important to get this concept about Allah, because lots of people have incorrect knowledge about Allah. Many people have incorrect correct information and concepts about Almighty Allah. Many people go to unauthentic sources to get knowledge, and the knowledge they get is not beneficial because it is incorrect. So unreliable sources, unauthentic books or people, and low levels of high thinking and poor knowledge, all these factors disrupt and confuses the human beings. And it is so essential to keep the knowledge about Almighty Allah so pure that when people know it exactly, they can understand to a great extent the nature of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His attributes and His names and His powers, all these things. Once we get this, we would know that He is capable of doing anything. Brothers and sisters, Allah has the ability to give whom He wills, and He have the power to take it back, restore it. Even if you take it, Allah can take it from you at any time. Allah is the one who gave you this sight. Allah can take your eyes from you. Allah who gave you this sense of hearing and listening, He can take it back from you at any time, whenever He desires, whenever He wills. You should all the time know that you are something owned by Almighty Allah, because you are part or a tiny part in this whole huge kingdom of Almighty Allah, and there is no way to escape from the power and from the control of Almighty Allah. With all this in mind, we still know that Allah is so merciful to give us the free will to make our own decisions by our own choice. And based on our choices, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will hold us on the Day of Judgment accountable for these choices, for these things that we selected and we did in our life. And if He finds it good, if we see that it is good, so we should thank Him again and again, because He gave us the support to do things good. And if we find our records and our acts are bad, we blame no one except ourselves. This is how you can understand about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you read authentic books of tafsir. It is so essential to be very selective when you select. As some people go when they go on to buy a house, or they want to buy gold, they become very selective and they ask many questions and they consult many people. This should be our relationship with Allah. When we want to get knowledge about Almighty Allah, we should be very selective and look for the most reliable sources, so that we guarantee that the input that goes in our brains is safe. Before I end, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all His bounties and blessings that He gave us. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Your presenter, Mamdouh Mohamed.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها أفلا يتدبرون